Structures can be used to store a variety of variables in one place. This is useful if we have experimental data and we would like a single variable, a MATLAB structure, to contain all the data that was collected, including names of people, IDs, responses during the experiment, etc. Cell arrays can also be used to store various data types, but structures are a bit more general. Think of cell arrays as a way to store strings and structures as a way to store heterogeneous data types. And in this screencast I'll explain how to create structures and how to index into structures. One useful way to think about structures is as a container for multiple variables. Suppose I want to create a structure called D, and I would like to store a string, which is the current date, let's say. And now I would also like the same structure D to contain some other numeric variable, for example n, which might be the number of people in an experiment, or something else. I can also create a vector x, which contains all kinds of data of interest. Now D is the structure, and date, n, and x are fields in this structure. So if I type in D, MATLAB retrieves the whole structure with all the fields, and I can access the individual fields by just using this notation d.n. So D, or the structure, variable name, followed by dot, followed by the field name. Now another way to create structures is to create an array where each element of an array groups variables belonging to the same element. For example, so suppose I have names and IDs of people that I want to store. I can create the first element in an array by saying D and in parentheses the index into this array, and then followed by the field name. So I have the name Anna, that's the first name, and her ID is 432. Now I can store another element into this array. For example, the second element could be Beatrice with her ID is 654. I can now index into this array by, let's say, retrieving the first element, that's D1, like this. I can retrieve the second element like this. I can retrieve a specific field of an element by saying, let's say I want to retrieve the name of the first element, and then I get Anna back. Now let's suppose I have a very long array with lots of names and lots of IDs, but I just want to create a vector with just the IDs. So how can I retrieve this information from this structure? So I can use the following syntax. To get the IDs, I say d.id, so the field name that I'm interested in, and this is numeric, and I enclose it in square brackets, and MATLAB actually returns a vector now with the numeric ID values. I can also return strings in a cell array by enclosing the string variable, in this case name, within curly brackets. And now I create a cell array. The answer is a cell array, so I can actually assign that to something else, like let's say x. And now x is a cell array. There it is. X is a cell array with two elements